Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and honored guests. One of the club officers asked me to prioritize talking about voting, nominating, electing, and that's very timely because by the end of the year, we'll be electing new club officers. What most of us are very familiar with is the majority vote. Majority vote is the majority, obviously, of the votes cast. And that's the important aspect on that. Abstentions do not count in calculating the majority. There's a lesser known vote, which is called a plurality vote. And plurality vote, let's say you have three candidates in an election and they get 45, 40, and 15 votes. And the one with 45 has the plurality, the highest number, and that would be elected. A good example for that was the question 2 on the recent governor's recall election. It was not a majority of the votes cast that would have replaced the governor. It was a plurality vote, the one with the highest number. But if we use Robert's Rules of Order, then it must be over 50%. And in that case, with the previous example, you would go to a second ballot and drop the lowest number. Then there is a 2/3 vote. And the most common use of a 2/3 vote is when you suspend the rules or if you limit or extend debate. 2/3, self-explanatory. Now, there's an action that the chair can take, and that's called unanimous consent. If there's a motion on the floor where no anticipated opposition is, the chair can simply say, if there is no objection, the motion passes by unanimous consent. And he proceeds and say, well, hearing none, the chair declares that he has no objection and declares the motion passed by unanimous consent. It goes almost without saying that every member has a right to vote. What many do not know, though, is that even if you have not played your Toastmaster dues or dues in any organization, you are allowed to vote. The only time you are not allowed to vote as a member is if you are under disciplinary action. Question that often comes up, does the chair participate in the vote? Well, the presiding officer is supposed to maintain an impartial position and not participate in the debate. On occasion, the chair may wish to say something on a debate, and he has to relinquish the chairmanship of the meeting, and he has to do so for the length of the debate of that particular motion. There are a couple instances where the chair votes. One is rather obvious. If the vote is taken by ballot, then the chair can write the ballot and vote that way. The other lesser known time when the chair can vote is if the chair's vote would change the outcome of the election. Let me explain that. If a motion is tied, the vote on a motion is tied, the motion would fail. But in that case, the chair may announce that the chair votes in the affirmative and the motion will pass. In another case, let's say the majority is by one vote more. let's say the 46 to 45 is the vote. The chair in that case could vote in the negative, which makes it a tie and the motion would fail. The thing to remember is that the chair may vote if his or her vote changes the outcome of the vote that was taken. I think my time is up. I have more on voting. We will continue that at the next session. Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Dietmar.